Okay, hello everyone. This is Zach here. So first of all, sorry about yesterday for those that who are joining me. Last night because due to some internet connection problems, so it actually disconnect. Okay, early on. So I think I have to do it at daytime. Okay, to ensure the stability of my internet connection. Okay, so hopefully my internet everything is still okay right now. And today we're gonna do a very quick session. Okay, about using the spring signals in the charts, okay, with the closing of on the Fridays there. Okay, so just want to do a very quick sound check, please. Okay, is my sounds coming okay? Is my screen is okay? If yes, please stop one for me. Okay, so we're going to go through some things today. Hello, Vince. Okay, so Vince, do let me know if my sounds coming okay. So okay, now what is actually is spring signals, okay? So spring actually is like a type of a shakeout, okay, or removal of weekend holders, okay, so that's what we call spring. Actually what it do is that it actually drop in the price, okay, which it takes below the low of the trading, okay, from the accumulation support level, okay. Then it actually is a last attempt, okay, or maybe it's an attempt, okay, by the smart money to get the price, get the share at the cheaper price, okay. So it's for those that who are practicing like candlestick, okay, this is a bit similar like uh, a hammer, okay. So like for example here, hello Losary, okay, so like this, okay, so you got a tail at the bottom and a nail spread. Of course it can be up bar or down bar, okay. So okay, hello FN, okay, so thank you for the confirmation that sounds there. Okay, so on the up bar down bar doesn't matter, but for me prefer up bar, okay, prefer up bar because we want to have a strong closing, okay. Hello Jimmy. Before begin, do you look into volume or any others screen color coded? Yes, I will go into that later on too. Okay, so I prefer to use green color. Okay, so I'll explain later on. Okay, I think just now you asked me about the questions, am I right, Jimmy? And I think I replied to the groups already. Okay, so this is spring or what we call the hammer. Okay, so what it do is that on the beginning of this bar of the day itself, okay, actually the morning is pretty weak, okay, it dropped, okay, and it just scared out most of the trade in the market, okay. So everyone just so panic, okay, especially on weak markets, or maybe due to some bad news, okay, like for example on Friday there's rumor of full lockdown of the MCO, but in the end it doesn't turn out right. So market will react in different patterns, okay. So like for example morning everyone is planning to sell, but after lunchtime, most of the stocks suddenly goes up, okay, goes up again. So that someone is trying to take the tickets at the bottom, take the price at the bottom, and slowly going back to the price there, okay, where to the tops there. Okay, so this is what we call the spring, okay, or maybe hammer, you can call it hammer. So this is a pattern that is actually representing a shakeout, okay, from the market, okay. So which means they're technically trying to remove you from the markets, okay. So like I said, I like to use spring signals, especially during the weak market. So I will go through the spring screener here. Okay, so for members, you can go through this screener. So usually I will look into this screener if, let's say, during this weak markets, okay, got a lot of stocks is listed in this screener. I know there's a higher chances, okay, higher chances that this market having a wash, okay, which means it's a good sign for the overall markets, okay. So we got 400 over, which I think is pretty a lot. So if you minus off the warrants, everything, I think it will be like around 300, also pretty a lot for me, okay, for this spring skis stocks over here. All right, so okay, we'll go through one by one. I think I would like to answer the questions from Jimmy about the color coded, okay. So again, for members, if let's say you miss out the Friday member training, okay, the weekly training, I do share about what is what is the information you can get from the screener here, like for example what it means by the name, the color coded is the name, what it means by the SD, what it means by the LT, okay, on the color coded, okay. So normally I will focus on green color first, okay. The reason why, because I want to look for a stock still above certain support level, okay. Purple probably not, okay. Maybe yes, but my second preferred options, okay. Because if let's say purple and they are like more than 100 200%, most of the time they are like very trending counters already. So it is good for FIFO, but you know, if you are looking for, you know, hold for a few days to weeks, probably a bit risky, because they might do a quick shakeout or pullbacks from there. Okay, so sometimes I like to tends to avoid those very trending one, unless I say you're doing FIFO, which is I think is totally fine. All right, so go back to here. Okay, so the step that I'm looking for is this. Okay, hopefully by now you all know what it means by spring or hammer. Okay, if let's say you all understand this, type 1 for me, please. Okay, hello you. Okay, so okay, now I'm looking for something is again above 2040, which is very important for me, because this is a line that help me to check, you know, overall is the stock is still in the trend or momentums or not. Okay, so below slightly is okay, so that's where I want to pop my alerts. Okay, so 2040 MA, so that's why if you ask me, Jimmy, I still prefer to look for green. Okay, for both ST and LT. Okay, I will still prefer to use green. So because I want to look into something like this. Okay, you know, in the screener, the STLT representing the 50 and 200 day moving average. Okay, so assuming this is the 50, this is the 200 day moving average. Okay, so I would like to look for some stock is like this. Okay, probably go up, go down, go up, go down. Okay, but it's still overall still like, for example, like here. Okay, so still in like green colors. Okay, maybe somewhere around here. Okay, still in the green colors areas. Okay, so but not somewhere like here. Okay, below the 50 and 200s. Okay, so sometimes here got spring, but doesn't mean that it will go up immediately. Okay, so I like to look for sound strength in this area, so that, you know, at least I know it's trending and they are having a very nice healthy pullback with the shakeout patterns. Okay, so can we use Pentagon guided rules color coded? Yeah, I think can also, but most important is that you check out the chart patterns again. So let's say the chart pattern is okay, you know, overall 2040 is there. I think yes, it's fine. Okay, so hopefully I answer your questions, Jimmy. So okay, 2040s. Okay, if let's say green color coded is the best. Okay, you should look for that. Now of course, best is that we got a green pentagon, but I don't think now we got a lot of green pentagons now. Mostly turns to red pentagons. Okay, but it's still okay, you know, because we want to see where is the pullbacks areas. Okay, so probably we will have pullback with spring currently, or maybe a shakeout patterns. Okay, so again for members, oh yeah, I'm very sorry about that, because yesterday during the monthly training I actually forgot to record. Okay, so yesterday we did talk about NS and shakeout, but don't worry members. Okay, so I will going to do a separate sessions, okay, for the shakeout and NS then. Okay, yep, welcome Jimmy. So okay, these are the things that we want to look for. Okay, let's see using the screener what is the stocks that, you know, potentially we can monitor next week. Okay, so like I said, before I continue again, just a very quick disclaimer. I'm not here to ask you to buy certain stocks or sell certain stocks. Per se for me, I couldn't shake out too. I'll be frank with you. Some of the stock I just exit. Okay, on Thursday, Friday. Okay, Friday also it hit my 8%. I cut. Okay, but after that it turns to spring. Okay, sometimes it's like this. Okay, as a trader, sometimes you've been washed out for the market. But for me, it's that as long as you keep your losses small, and you still your capital. Most important is still your capitals. Then we still got opportunity to look for the nice re-entry again. Okay, so what's the things that probably I want to look for, okay, next week or Monday is that, okay, now recently we got down bar, obviously. Okay, market is pretty weak last week. Okay, so we got a spring here. Okay, now volume for me doesn't really matter in this case. Okay, of course average to high is good. Okay, not too low lah. So probably here we got some down bar volume, so a bit average to high is fine. Okay, no need to be too high, but for me is that most important is that the next day. Okay, the next day. So let's say for example the next day it open like this with a down bar, so you know that this bar is not a good sign. Okay, probably it's not a very strong spring after all. Okay, but if let's say next day it close up, okay, with a very nice confirmation, volume is high or super good. Okay, then you know this is a combination of very good setup or confirmation. Okay, so for me spring in this case, okay, it's always very important to check on the next day. Okay, what is, you know, exactly they are trying to do, or maybe, you know, the next day will come with certain confirmation that tells that, okay, they are still keen and interested, okay, in this case. Okay, so I can give you some few examples that I can remember. Okay, so this is GCB. Is it GCB or this is daily chart? Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so remember yesterday I showed this also. So here, a big spring, okay, a really big spring, okay, so but the next day it closed lower, okay, and some more with high volume, some more, okay, closer with high volume. So you know this is a bit weak lah, okay, this kind of spring is a bit weak. So let's say spring, okay, the next day let's say it goes up, or maybe next few days, okay, it goes up, increasing volume a little bit, then you know this is probably slightly a better spring, okay, compared to this type of confirmation over here, okay. So I think Dongguan having that too. Okay, Dongguan having that too. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, two spring. Okay, if you realize here one spring, okay, high volume. Okay, so this is the one that hanging around, then confirmation come in later. Okay, come after that. Okay, so it goes out again, make a pullback. So this is the area that want to see more spring again. So okay, so we look for the next day. Okay, to check on the volume and the confirmation. Okay, so all right, let's look. Let's go to the screen now. Okay, we look for some stocks for us to probably focus, okay, on next week. So again, we got, I think, minus off all the warrants here, I think we got easily 300 stocks. Okay, I won't go into all the 300 stocks, but for members, if you are hardworking enough, I think it's okay. Okay, you can go and check it out. Okay, so if you want to narrow down your selection, okay, you can go to Bursa sector analysis. Okay, probably just right over here. Okay, maybe here, sector analysis. Okay, to look for, you know, what is the type of stocks that you want to focus, okay, in this screener there, so you don't want to waste your time. Okay, so for example here, I think the only two sectors is slightly better than KRSE, okay, overall for last week. So here we got plantation, it's still in green, of course pullback from last week. So finance surprisingly is still holding very well. Okay, again, pretty good compared to last week too. So if you look over here, mostly it's in red. Okay, so probably if let's say you want to look for something still a little bit of momentum, okay, so probably want to focus these two first. Okay, so this is how usually I try to narrow down my selection if let's say I got too many stocks for me to look into. Okay, so the other thing is that I don't really like to look for all red counters. Okay, like for example, probably let me choose one. I don't know. Okay, this is a long list here. So okay, let's try HP, Padu, or maybe Asia Ply. Okay, previously the stocks that we are trading also. So here Asia Ply didn't really follow. This is the one that a bit weak overall. Okay, so it didn't trade within the 2040s. Okay, didn't trade within 2040s. So what I do is that usually in this case I like to if let's say you are still keen or interested, what you do is that you try to put your list. Okay, somewhere around here, spring. Okay, and it need to come with confirmation on next few days. Okay, so once you confirmation, then you probably want to check it out. Okay, so for example here I got spring, but this is just a very small spring. Okay, no confirmation at all. Okay, do you check hourly chart or daily chart for spring? Yes, I do check also in the hourly chart. Okay, but in this section, okay, today we focus daily. Okay, we focus daily first. Then for hourly chart, you can actually look into the confirmation bar, like for example green pentagon high volumes. Okay, but for me it's very important to look into daily chart first because we want to get the setup correct. Then only we look into the hourly chart for entry if you want to. Okay, so let me check few counters. If let's say the stocks is good, then I will show you how I use the hourly chart. Okay, so Kawan previously having a reversal. Actually I kind of like Kawan. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so Kawan, okay, slightly a bit below 2040s. So here we got again we studied the background. Okay, background is very important. Okay, so if you example so if you are trading, like for example this is a spring, right? This is a spring. So but if you are trading very close with the weakness bar, okay, so sometimes it doesn't really work well too. Okay, or if you are trading a downtrend, it's not going to give you a lot of edge also. So make sure when you trade, it must come with edge, okay, and you must check on the background, okay, in the case. Okay, so we look into the weekly charts. Okay, so weekly charts, okay, seems pretty good. Okay, they're trying to cross 2040. Of course, last week is a not a very good week, that's why they got down bar over here. Okay, so let's look into back on this daily chart. Okay, weekly chart is just for me to look into the overall trend. What is the overall direction they are going into? Okay, so here downtrend, increase in the volume. Okay, sideways accumulation. Okay, so again high volume change the trend. Okay, so from here they make a temporary support. Okay, so seems like they fail to make a follow through. So this is the alert that I'm parking right now, 1.9 something, okay, almost 2 ringgits. So what I'm looking for, okay, so this is a spring bar volume, so I like to have this volume a little bit higher. Okay, so let's say next day or next few days, it goes up with high volumes, green pentagons, which means I know that they are doing a shakeout over here. And these smart money are still keen and interested to hold current foot. Okay, you'll get me? Type 1, if let's say okay. Type 2, no understand. Okay, if you think this one is make sense for you and you understand, type 1. Okay, if you think that okay, the things that we share about here doesn't make sense, or you don't really get what I mean, okay, type 2 for me. Okay, so at least I know. So again, just do a very quick one, repeats here. Okay, we want to check the background of the stocks. We don't want to trade something is in downtrend. We want to look for something at least in sideways, or maybe they are about to go into the uptrend. Okay, so here we check volume. Volume must be there, okay, to ensure the reversal of the trend. Okay, another high volume if you notice. So this one is dropped with low volume. Okay, if you realize here, it's low volume generally. Okay, so we got spring here, but we don't enter immediately. Okay, we want to look for confirmation. That's why I pop my one alerts over here, right on the top of the 40 MA, and the volume must higher than the springs bar. Okay, so whenever it comes first, I will check it out. Okay, hey, hello Jerry. Okay, don't worry, I think we just start around like 10 minutes here. Okay, so hopefully mostly you'll get the setup over here for car one. So okay, let's go into the other setups. Okay, let's try last cam. Okay, this is also my previous favorite counters, but seems like they are not doing very well. Okay, now this is stocks that probably not at the moment. Okay, why? Because the top got a big resistance. Okay, but of course you can trade along with the support resistance. Just that most of the time I don't want to trade very close with a big resistance. Okay, so like for example here, uptrust high volumes. Here uptrust high volume, uptrust high volumes. Okay, so we got 3 bar uptrust high volume. Okay, so yes, a spring is good because they want to do a shakeout. Okay, now the next thing is that I'm going to look over here. Again, we use gap as the support. Now you know where is the good support areas right now. Okay, so here is the area that you want to look for sign of strength. Okay, again I just put my alerts, here and there. So if it hits, I'll come back and check and monitor. Okay, so let's say next week it goes back up, tested about 240s. Okay, for a few days. Okay, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Then I'll start to monitor for my entry. Okay, because the resistance is too big. You can see one big uptrust over here, followed by 2 uptrusts over here. This is telling you that okay, the sell is still there. Okay, yes, looks like a shakeout. Correct, Rosalind. Okay, this is actually a shakeout. 1, 2, goes up, tested. Okay, but failed. Probably due to the weak markets we have last week. So we want to see a successful shakeout coming again. Okay, from last cap. Okay, which I think got chance lah, but just that let's try to monitor for another 1 or 2 weeks, because usually when I see there's a big UT at the top, I don't want to rush myself to go and trade. Okay, I would like to monitor for a few more days. Okay, to ensure that okay, the support is strong before I go. Okay, then it goes up to resistance again, form another UT. Okay, that's the area that you want to exit from there. Okay, let's try Fiamma. Fiamma is a bit quiet type of counters. Okay, kind of similar like BIG previously, but of course big has go up a lot. Okay, so I think this one's got something. I don't know why. Feel like got something because the volumes keep coming in already recently. Okay, but just that recently I try to control myself, don't go for too risky trade. Okay, so this is a bit illiquid, which is I think is sometimes doesn't give you a edge because it's difficult for you to exit sometimes. But if you like some exciting stocks, okay, I think this is kind of fulfill the criteria. Okay, so here we got NS with spring. This is the weekly. Okay, so we got pocket pivots. Okay, go back to the daily charts here. Again, pocket pivots somewhere around here, hitting the resistance there. Okay, and then pull back with a spring. Okay, kind of similar like the stocks that we. What's the stocks with last cam? Okay, kind of similar with last cam. Yeah, just now we just discussed. So here we got 1. Okay, but here we got 1. Okay, but this stocks doesn't really come with lots of UT. Okay, I think we got only 1 high volume UT. Okay, So spring will always tell us that okay, they are trying to do a like a remover. Okay, on the weekend holders then. Okay, so this is Fioma. Okay, let's try Prolexus. Okay, Prolexus is a bit downtrend because the LT is in red. Okay, but it seems like ST going into green, which means that it's a reversal type of setup. Okay, so let's go to this stocks. Okay, Prolexus. Okay, so a bit similar like car one, downtrend. Volume is not that obvious, but it's increasing slightly. Okay, now we got two spring. Okay, still very close to trend 40s. Again, this is my alerts 1.03 ABS. So when it goes back, okay, increasing volume. So let me pump my volumes over here. Green pentagons, okay, which means they are confirming double spring. Okay, so probably this is the area that I want to look for my opportunity. Okay, so example here, downtrend a little bit, successful test, goes up, another round. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, hopefully we got a very strong confirmation on 2 spring. Of course, increasing volume will help too. Okay, so I think Prolexus is okay, but like I say, doesn't mean that it's a stocks that you can enter immediately. Okay, I'm looking for a nicer confirmation, okay, before I decided whether I want to enter or not. Okay, so let's try Taan. Okay, Taan. Okay, it's kind of fulfill the criteria that I'm looking for. Okay, so here still 2040s. I think still green pentagon, am I right? So a bit like pullback and shakeout too. Okay, so over here, Taan all in green. Okay, Taan all in green. All right, so let's look into the chart. Okay, again, draw a support resistance. Okay, not that bad, am I right? So, okay, let me put it nicely over here. Okay, so here we got small gaps, drop below. Okay, trying to cross, successful cross, but it dropped again, rejected. Okay, tested well, goes up, spring. Okay, so looks like this one also got a shakeout, am I right? Okay, so we got a big one, followed by 2 small shakeout. Okay, so here also holding on with spring. Previously we got NS. Okay, so overall this one is still above 2040s. Okay, still above 2040s, and best part is that they are holding well with 2040s right now. Okay, so here, okay, I kind of like this kind of setups. Okay, but it's a 3 ringgit counters. Okay, here is your resistance, probably you want to take notes. Okay, in terms of risk to reward, I think is pretty okay. 4% if I take the low of the spring, but this one must expect a breakout because if let's say resistance only, I don't think it will give you a very nice risk to reward. Okay, it's only like 7% against 4%. Okay, so okay, I think Tan can monitor. Okay, Harbor. Okay, Harbor I did exit all, but I think still worth to monitor. Okay, we got a again double upthrust at the top and 2 upthrusts come high volume some more. Okay, so that's why after the UT I just exit half. Okay, so again for members, if you cannot decide, okay, whenever you see upthrust high volume at resistance, okay, here resistance 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you're already in profit, okay, most of the time what I do is that at least take 30% or maybe 50%. Okay, so keep half to see whether they got chance to try higher or not. Okay, if not, at least you still got something with you. Okay, so in this case, like for example, Harbor. Okay, after I see 1, 2, they try 3 times again upthrust high volume, you know that chances for them to go back to support is still there. Okay, so anyway, this is a good spring with the NS at the back there. Okay, so here, that's why I'm still keep this, okay, in my watch list. Okay, so just try to monitor. Okay, Harbor. Alright, okay, let's see TH plant. Okay, again, one of my favorites, plantation counters previously. Okay, not that bad, am I right? So, okay, this one turns to red pentagons. Okay, this one turns to red pentagons because I think of the small gaps here. Okay, so let's check. This is a 2 previous supports area. slightly below supports, okay, slightly below. So we got a gaps here. They try to cross, drop again, cross, drop again. Now again a small gaps trying to push up. Okay, so somewhere around here. So okay, for me this is still above trend 40s, but it turns to red pentagon. Okay, so up bar high volume will be good. Okay, TH plan. Okay, let's see. Fajar, nice spring, Fajar. I think I do spot few of the counters. Okay, I think Fajar, SLP, CAB. Okay, so here going to resistance. Okay, going to resistance without any sign of weakness. Okay, I like stocks that going to resistance, but they don't show any major weakness. Okay, but let's say show like a big UT just now. I forgot which counter already. So I will monitor lah, but most of the time my priority will go to stocks that less resistance. Okay, which means that less weakness. What I'm trying to say here. Okay, so here goes up, here less resistance. Am I right? They make a pullbacks. Okay, again here, no UT, no UT. Okay, so again goes up here, no UT, pulling back with low volume. Okay, so this SP is still above trend 40s. Okay, kind of similar like this SP if you realize. Okay, so here again, you want to check out more confirmation bar. Okay, so sometimes doesn't mean that the confirmation come immediately on next day. Okay, but what they do is that they will still try lower. 1 or 2 weeks later on, okay, the signals appeared already. Okay, so these are areas that you want to look for. Okay, so just pop my alerts here and there. Okay, so once it hit, then I will know. Okay, so I kind of like Fajar overall. Okay, again, not for entry tomorrow, but for me to monitor overall for next week. Okay, because currently they say no MCO, but who knows, maybe cases go to 7K, 8Ks. Okay, I think the story will still come back later on. Okay, so I think for, like I say, for those that want to do a bit of FIFO, okay, still possible to do so because some of the closing is like very, very nice. Okay, in this case I think like SLP, for me the spring is pretty good. Okay, so here a small gaps. Okay, previously they tried cross, fail, resistance. Okay, now they push it back with high volume. Okay, now for members, any members here that attended the yesterday sections for the shakeout, if just type 1. Again, very sorry I didn't record it down. Okay, but I will promise you all to do a recording for you all. Okay, so here try on the resistance, but they drop again. Now this is the one that I mentioned, like for example, I think I give you an example on Filepack if I'm mistaken. So they goes up, most important is that they want to have a successful test with low volume. So let's say volume is high, most of the time they'll try to goes back down again. So here up trust, okay, push it lower, goes up, high volumes, okay, increasing volume of upbound, okay, and then successful test with sound strength, okay, another spring trying to hold well near the support. Okay, so Arme Rosalind at 10. Okay, if the confirmation sum come 2 or 3 days later, still valid. Yes, still valid for me, Jimmy. Okay, so sometimes due to market condition, doesn't mean that they have to come immediately on next day. Okay, so that's why if let's say, for example, if let's say the spring is here. Okay, as long as the price didn't close below spring, okay, for me it's still valid. But let's say the price already dropped below spring here, for me, okay, this is probably is weakening already. Okay, probably I don't want to monitor or add into my list some more. Okay, all right, Alvin also at 10. So this is one of these that I think they are forming like a shakeout. Okay, now currently holding well on 2040s very nicely. Okay, a very good spring. Okay, against not sure, but you can put your alert first. Okay, and monitor for a few more days. Okay, so SLP. Okay, the other one that I kind of like is CAB. CAB is actually also in the spring screeners there. Okay, so actually also in the spring screeners there. Okay, so they're making like a small temporary reversal. So weekly chart. Let's look into weekly charts. Okay, from a UT. Okay, so here I have to be careful also. Let's go back to the daily. Okay, so again we want to see more sound strength. Okay, somewhere around here. So this is a pure NS. Okay, forming a support. Okay, like a for me like a cup and handles things are. Okay, welcome Jimmy. CAB. Okay, probably we go for 2 more stocks, okay, from the screener here. Then I think the rest you all can, how to screen for this kind of stocks, am I right? Okay. If I got time, I will go through some of those stocks too. Okay, I think Jerry asking for JF Tech, MSC, okay, by Mr. Wong and Samchim. Okay, I'll take a look later on too. Okay, let's look for 2 more. Okay, Jackson. I think Jackson got some sort of like a volume recently, so it can't attract my attentions too. Okay, Jackson. PUC also, but it's but this is for those that who love some excitement. Okay, so again, big upthrust. Okay, whenever you got big upthrust, you just draw the line first. Okay, then you know this is the area of resistance. Okay, if you ask me a bit similar like VCP too. Okay, it's a VCP. Okay, yes, it's a VCP. That's for sure. Okay, so we got a spring still above the 2040s. Okay, still above the 2040s. So how do you tell it's VCP? This is the first wave. Second, okay, some call it this second, okay, but usually I like to see the resistance there, okay, or maybe this is the third, okay, and seems like they are coming doing the number 4 wave, okay, around here, okay, a spring currently above 2040s, okay, and we want to check is the springs have confirmation or not. Okay, so this is slightly below 30 cents. So if you like excitement, I think, yeah, okay, you can check it out. So the other one also, I think I just spotted from here yesterday is PUC. Okay, PUC. Again, for members, 400 over stocks, minus off the warrant, I think we've got 300s. So you need to go through all, okay, for those that is in red colors, probably you want to skip first. Then you focus on the one in green, okay. So those that like, very bearish one, negative 10% or above, probably you want to just leave it first at the moment, okay, unless you want to trade a temporary reversal, then it's different story. Okay, so for me here, PUC, it crossed 2040s, you can see volume is increasing, okay, 2 up bar high volumes, okay, so seems like it's a kind of like a successful reversal from here, okay, so a spring. So again, good for those that who want to do a quick trades or white ball or FIFO kind of style, okay, but probably not for me, okay, just wanted to put it there and study the patterns there. Okay, so hopefully especially for members, you know how to use these screeners to help you out, okay, to spot some of the good spring stocks, okay, for you to look into some trades, okay, next week. Okay, so just do a very quick one, probably we look for something that is in negative, okay, OVH. Okay, any other stocks that you want me to look into? Okay, now this is the one that most of the time not so keen. So high volumes should change the trend, but if let's say high volume fail to hold, it's going to go lower and lower and lower. Okay, so this kind of spring sometimes is not a very good spring. Okay, a good spring should come with wider bar. Okay, now this is also a clue. Okay, just want to share with you all. Okay, this is also one of clue that how do you tell that is this spring is good spring or maybe a weaker spring. Okay, like for example, right, in a particular trend, okay, like let's say for example in a downtrend, okay, we got a bar here, okay, so assuming most of the bar is almost the same, the white of the bar, okay, so we know that in a particular trend, the candlestick patterns or maybe the size of the candles and the volume should come with almost like similar, can be high, can be low, but not too climatic type. Okay, we usually got climatic type it will trend, right? So hopefully you all agree with this statement. So if you agree, please type 1. Okay, if you agree, please type 1. If you disagree, type 2 for me. Okay, so if let's say in a particular trend, like for example here, this is obviously it's downtrend. Okay, downtrend. Okay, so if you see a spring, just a tiny spring, a very small spring, okay, and the volume is just also like very small here, okay, kind of average, okay. So for me, this is not a spring for me to monitor. Okay, but if let's say it drop again, but suddenly form a huge spring, a big spring, okay, and the volume suddenly spikes up. Okay, now this is the spring that you want to see. You want to focus or monitor. Okay, because potentially with this spring, it can have a reversal. Okay, similar one for other signal also, like for example stopping volume. That's why in VSA, okay, in VSA we focus on stopping volume, we focus on back holdings. Okay, because focus volume and back holding, if you study correctly, the patterns it actually the pattern itself actually is kind of different, you know, with the stocks that in a particular trend. Okay, so like for example, right, downtrend, 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 most of them is like the size, the bar, the volume is about the same. Okay, stopping volume is the one that come with wide spread and climatic volume, or back holding is come with narrow spread, climatic volume. Okay, so this is the one that it can change the trend, not this time. Okay, so if I look into OVH, okay, probably this type of spring is the one that I won't really pay a lot of attention. Okay, similar like here. Okay, so it's a tiny small spring. Okay, so this one I will pay attention. Okay, but it failed, so which means that a bit weakening right now. Okay, so hopefully I clarify this. Okay, so okay, let's go through some stock that you have for me, then we'll close for today's sections. Okay, so let's go to JFTech. Okay, spring. Okay, we got line change over here. Now this is a bit similar to OVH, huh? But like I say, I actually also monitoring JFTech, but just that I want them to have at least 2 tests. Okay, so which means that okay, now they are doing the first one already. Okay, another up bar high volumes, and then the next support. Okay, probably I will enter on the next supports. Okay, to ensure that okay they are doing 2 times. Okay, at least that the support is kind of solid for me to look for the entry. Okay, but so far so good lah. So far so good lah. The overall the LC is still there lah. Okay, hopefully don't drop lower than the LCs there. Okay, or this particular areas. Okay, Jackson will form cup and handles. Okay, let's go back to Jackson again. Okay, I think yes, it's like a cup and handles. Okay. Okay, slightly a bit same like cup and handles. Okay, but like I said, I kind of like to follow Mark Miner winning VCP because they look into the overall volume too. Okay, so here, hopefully we got chance. Okay, we want to look for something like this. Okay, very very low volume. Okay, if you realize here also, when they go back to trend 40s, volume just suddenly disappear or dries up. Okay, then you know that okay, the sellers has been reducing. Okay, and then the buyer is coming back. Okay, so this is, we look into the volume and then we check out on the VCP patterns. Okay, so Lambo got so many SP. How do we interpret? Okay, now this is a different story already, Jerry. Okay, now thank you, Jerry. Okay, for bringing this chart out. Okay, now if let's say your chart is, I can say is not much activities lah. It doesn't count It doesn't count because this type of stocks, right? It move 1 bits only one day or maybe 2 bits only one day. Okay, so it will form a lot of spring. Technically, it will form a lot of spring. So that's why I don't use spring signals. Okay, in this type of stocks, because it's first is illiquid. Okay, so second is only like move 1 or 2 bits. Okay, so it doesn't count. Okay, Jerry. Okay, if you look into weekly chart also, I can only use volume lah, but the spring sometimes not that, I'm afraid not that accurate also because of the characteristic of the stocks. Okay, so this one usually I won't use the spring. Okay, because of the illiquid. Okay, or the activity is not that obvious. Okay, compared to other charts. So okay, Tasco. Let's go to Tasco. Okay, we go to LKL. Probably last one LKL. Then we will stop this. We will end these sections. Okay. So okay, Tasco, we got spring. Okay, so previously I do spot a nice spring over here. I almost enter actually. Okay, but because of weak market, I just hold it first. So you're gonna spring here, still very close to 2040s. Okay, I probably will put my others down. I think still got potential because at the top there I don't see major resistance. Okay, so here we got high volume. Okay, here we got high volume if you realize. So like I said, if you don't know where is the support resistance, you just use the high volume first. Okay, just draw the area of the high volumes, so you will see where is the main actions. Okay, from the areas. Okay, so here we got high volumes, and then seems like make a big pullbacks. Okay, pushing it back, supports, drop below supports. Okay, So this is the area that you want to see the price go back again. Okay, of course with high volume. Okay, so let's say they go back to this area with high volumes, then probably I'll look for my chance to re-entry again. Okay, so again I repeat, because due to some stocks, okay, if you don't know how to look for support resistance, okay, so this is the area that you want to look for. Okay, you just go to the high volume bars. Okay, you just draw the line first. Okay, then you will slowly study, you know, what is the things that actually happen around the areas. So like for example here, actually build a support, trying to build a support, but it failed to hold. Okay, so again this is a, then you know that okay, this is an area that okay, it's very important to look for sign of strength. Okay, sign of strength. Okay, so this is Tasco for me. Okay, of course let's say they go back, form a sign of strength, and as spring, I think it's a good area for me to consider. Okay, so let's try LKL. Okay, so Joyce asking for Inari grad tech revenue. Okay, we'll take a look later on too. Okay, so this three we're going to review later on, then we will close for today's sections. Okay, so upshot high volume LKL double NS. Okay, technically I was in the trade. Okay, and my stop loss, okay, as the is actually below this NS over here. Okay, a bit worried with this UT, to be frank with you. Okay, so also I'm actually considering to take some profits. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, so like I said, UT high volume most of the time it will form an immediate resistance. Okay, so depending, are you trying to get a go ball, okay, which means that you're trying to run, okay, with the trend, or maybe you want to do a quick profits. Okay, so for me, yeah, probably on Monday I will take a little bit. Okay, so since my entry is kind of low, I think my entry is like 345, something like that, so or 350. Yep. Okay, so let's look into if daily below 240, is it okay? Should choose those with weekly chart above 2040. Yeah, you can also, Rosalind. Okay, because sometimes some stock they are making a daily chart, they're making a big pullbacks, right? You can use the weekly chart to time where is the next support. Okay, good questions. Okay, I'll show one chart to you later on. Okay, let me go through Inari grad tech and revenue. Okay, then I will show you one chart on weekly chart. Okay, now this is spring, again it's far from 2040s. Okay, now in this case, okay, for example, let's look into weekly. Okay, so weekly a bit weak. This is high volumes, again high volumes, and we got 2 UT. Okay, so using weekly charts, okay, it tells me that I mean you can actually check, okay, where is the next potential support if you cannot spot the support using the daily chart. So this is the area that you want to see sign of strength. If let's say they continue to do a pullbacks. So in daily, yes, we got spring, but it's still far from 2040s, which means that potentially there's no right trade setups. Okay, from here. So here is slightly better. Okay, if you realize this spring. Okay, here is too far. Okay, so probably you want to park alerts with the confirmations there. Okay, let's try grad tech. Again, we use weekly. Okay, now this is the good weekly chart with a spring. Okay, so here 2040s, 1 spring, 2 spring. Okay, so hopefully you will see a confirmed spring on weekly chart. Okay, so sometimes you can use the weekly chart to time the long terms supports. Okay, so in this case daily, again no trade setup yet for me to look for entry unless they goes back up with a green pentagons here. Okay, so let's try one more, revenue. Okay, so like I said, recently also focusing a little bit on property, because most of the property counters, they are actually holding very well on 2040s on weekly charts. Okay, but daily chart, no trade setup yet. Okay, but I will just trying to pop my alerts there first. Okay, probably, who knows? Okay, next month we'll have a good trade setup from there. Okay, so revenue hitting 20 already, but no sign of strength yet. Okay, so using daily, so again still far from 2040s. Okay, so we want to look for good sign. Okay, good sign of strength coming back from here. Okay, just want to show Rosalind one example. Okay, using weekly chart above 2040s. Let's try SP30, but I think the closing is a bit weak lah. So okay, already dropped below. Let's look into weekly charts. Okay, close below NS already. Okay, so this is the area that we want to look for using weekly chart as support. Okay, now since they drop, okay, now this is the area that you want to check for next sign of strength. Okay, next sign of strength. I think CAB, okay, CAB having that on weekly charts, again from a UT. So here, this is an area that you want to check more sounds, right? Okay, using the weekly charts. Okay, so this is usually how I look into, but I seldom use weekly chart for entry. I just use the weekly chart for me to look for the overall trend. Okay, is the stocks having a reversal, making a pullback temporary, which is the reaccumulation. Then I use the daily chart for me to look for entry. Okay, so example CMB, just last one before I close. Okay, so this is weekly. Okay, so seems like a nice reversal, high volumes. Okay, reversing, we got a spring, 2040s. Okay, looks like a nice springs from here. So weekly chart tells me that, okay, potentially they're gonna reverse. Okay, so of course we got two up thrusts. Okay, probably we'll retry again on the resistance. Then I use the daily charts, okay, to look for a nice entry. Okay, so example, kind of similar like how I enter for plantation or the oil and gas. Green Pentagon cross 2040s here. Okay, green Pentagon trying to cross 40 but still haven't crossed yet. Okay, so let's say cross. Okay, probably this is the area that we want to look for entry. Okay, so this is how I use the weekly, confirm again with daily. Okay, so hopefully I answer your question, Rosalie. Okay, so with this, I will close for today's section. So again, once again, thank you for joining me in this very quick sessions over here. So if you like what we do, okay, if you like, the education that we provide, you can actually help me to click the like buttons for this video, or or you can subscribe to this channel over here. So if let's say I got any other updates, I will do a very quick one and upload a video to this channel here. Okay, so with this, thank you, and I will see you soon.